Good morning. Good morning. Hey, Sweet Pea. Hey, Shantanice. Fortnite. Hey, Kanisha. Let me get my other device on so I can read the comments when I'm not on here. And let me also put up my disclaimer real quick, too. So let me go ahead and do that. Let me get my disclaimer up real quick. If you guys can hear me good and you guys can see this disclaimer, drop me a one. I'll wait. Hey, Amelia, Yotana, Shartisha, Big Kane, Angela, Stacy Hall. Hello, everybody. Alicia, I haven't been here in a while, you guys, and I'm so happy to be back. K1, Glam Nation, Jennifer. Hey, everybody. Okay, I had to go ahead and drop that disclaimer. As many of y'all know, I had to step away for a minute. I had a death in the family. My grandmother passed away, and it messed me up some awful. So I had to step away for a minute, be with my family. I'm still grieving, but yet life still goes on. So I'm here. What we're going to do today is we're going to read an article that I actually had. I had this information like last year, and some of you guys may have seen this article before, and a lot of you haven't. So I'm going to go over the article today. We're going to read the article, and this article is going to prove that there is actually an original footage that wasn't released to the public. And in this footage, there are pieces of the footage that's missing with Kenneka in it. So we're going to read this article, go over this article, and it actually lines up what Andrew Holmes said in the very beginning, minus the part about them actually seeing her walk into the freezer. But it will, you know, bring confirmation to the fact that there was an original footage, a private footage that was not given or shown to the public. Okay. So thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. I know she's in a better place, no more suffering. So I thank God for that. And like I said, it's hard, but at the same time, it's life, you know. And I'm definitely trying to be strong for the family and, you know, for the task at hand. Hey, Nika. Hey, Debbie. Oh no, why now? Oh, this article was out. This article actually was released in 2017. It was released, they released the article the same day. They've been following this story since the very beginning. And they released an article saying that they actually seen this footage maybe a few days later, actually on September the 15th is what I'm going to show you guys, the article that they released. But it's if you guys ever heard of the Daily News, it's like a sister company of the Daily News, and it's in UK, and it's called the Bizarre News. So they've been following this case since the very beginning, but apparently they saw footage that we never saw. Okay, and they're going to actually outline what they saw when they were given exclusive access to this original footage. They're going to actually say what they actually saw. So this will kind of confirm that there was original footage that the world didn't see. B, a lot of what we seeing in the 36-hour footage has been edited, and we all knew that. But what I don't understand is if we have proof and there was actually people who saw the original footage, why can't we get the case back reopened based on the fact that the footage was edited? Like, that should be enough information to me to have the FBI to look into it or to get the case reopened, because there's actually people who saw the original footage and saw how Kenneka was removed from the original footage. If you guys saw Trey Games Live, I want to say yesterday or the day before yesterday, I just caught a snippet of it. But when I watched his lab and he spoke about the part I did see, and he spoke about the lobby and Kenneka being in the lobby, it brought my mind back to this article right here. And I said, wow, I actually have, this article that I had been sitting on for a while now. And the reason why I didn't release it is because me and someone else, we was working behind the scenes and we were emailing this company trying to see if they actually still had this footage and if we can buy it from them and put it out, for you guys. So they never replied back. And it's been over a year now since we have reached out to them. So I said, you know what? This will also validate what he's saying as far as Kenneka being in that lobby at some point. Now, I'm not here to break down timelines. I really don't know the timelines of everything. And I only play my role, let everybody else do their part, which is why I feel like a lot of us YouTubers, instead of beefing, we should be aligning, all for the sake of Kenneka. At the end of the day, it's not about me. It's not about you. It's about getting justice for this victim, for this baby. So, yeah, so this pretty much confirms that, we're not looking at the original footage, and the footage have been edited, and there were other sources along with Andrew Holmes that have seen the original footage. So that's why I wanted to make sure I put this disclaimer up before I actually pulled up the article. Okay, so I'm gonna give everybody time to get in. Hey, Watch Out Squad. Hey, Mika, Coco J. Thank you, everybody, for being so patient with me and giving me time to grieve and to be with my family. And I just really appreciate you guys for that. But yes, we are still in the fight. I got a little cold too, so y'all forgive me. But I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the article. This is not going to be a real lengthy live. We're going to pretty much read through the article and, everybody can share their thoughts on it. Hey, Antoine Miles. Okay. So now that I have my disclaimer up, let me go ahead and pull the article up. So if you guys can remember, I don't know if some of y'all seen this. If some of y'all seen this, drop me a 1. If you guys haven't, drop me a 2. But we're going to go ahead and go over it anyway for those who haven't saw it. Because like I said, it's really relevant to the cause. I mean, if we don't have the original footage, then it's really complicated to try to figure out what happened and how to put these pieces together. And it's also, to me, in my opinion, should be enough information to get this case back reopened. Look, what they provided to the public or in a files, should I say, is edited footage. Okay, and there are witnesses, and it's also been recorded that there are witnesses that there was an original footage that shows Kenneka in several places that we don't see her, and activities that we don't see going on. So to me, that should be a reason to get the case reopened, right? Okay, send me the link at malikasworld@gmail.com. And if we have time, we'll go over it today. Okay, so basically, here's the article from Bazaar Daily News. As I said, this is a sister corporation to the Daily News in the United States, and this is actually out the UK. All right. And it's a lengthy expose on the death of Kenneka Jenkins. Now, if you guys can look at the top, it says on 14th September 2017, I publicly confirmed. Now, they actually have an article that they did on the 14th of September where they confirmed that they had footage from the hotel that was of Kenneka in the lobby of the Crown Plaza Hotel. Now, as I said, another YouTuber mentioned this just maybe yesterday, the day before yesterday, that there was footage of Kenneka in the lobby, and that's around the same time of the time jumping, the time skipping. Okay, and for some reason, they did not want us to see Kenneka in the lobby. which makes me wonder, if you guys have footage of her in the lobby, why remove that footage? Why not give us that footage? Was she at the front desk asking for help? Was it somebody she was with that you guys don't want us to know about? Why remove that footage altogether? Why remove that footage? But anyway, so Bizarre Daily News says on the 14th of September 2017, I publicly confirmed that we have footage from the hotel that was of Kenneka in the lobby of the Crown Plaza Hotel. We were shown the footage on September the 12th. That's when they were shown the footage by a hotel employee who not only showed the footage, but also confirmed that there was a part missing. Okay? Proof right there that this case needs to be reopened. Proof right there that there is an original footage that was not uploaded to the Village of Rosemont website. Let's begin. Let's rewind back to the first day. If you guys need to get my attention, drop a 1. I got my phone too. Okay. Let's rewind back to the first day we learned of Kenneka Jenkins' death. At the time, we had very little information readily available. The Rosemont Village Police Department attempted to tell Kenneka's mother that it was not a murder or anything like that. It appeared like she accidentally walked into a freezer. When we approached Rosemont PD, we were pretty much told similar. It appears that she walked into the freezer of the Crown Plaza on accident. At the time, that was all we could say when questioned by the Daily News. Now, this is an important part. At the same time, the police department tried to publicly say and tell Kenneka's mother that she was not seen on camera the first go around. Now, do you guys remember the police department telling Kenneka's mom that they did not see her on camera the first go around? Drop me a 1 if you guys can remember that. So it appears to me as if they wanted to dismiss the whole surveillance footage altogether. If they did not want to use the surveillance footage, because it could have been so much activity and so many different things going on to where they just didn't want to use it at all. And they wanted to say, hey, we don't see her on camera, so we just going to dismiss even using the footage altogether. But we know when Teresa Martin came into the hotel, the first thing that she was saying was she wanted to see the cameras. That was the first thing she was saying. So for them to come right out the bat, and I remember this too, as clear as day, for them saying that we don't even have her entering the hotel. So either they didn't want to use this footage at all because it was so much editing that needed to be done in the original. So either they didn't want to use it at all, or Kenneka was actually not seen walking into the Crown Plaza, but maybe snuck in through the back or through another way where she wasn't actually seen walking in. And I say that because it reminds me of another YouTuber, and I'm sorry I don't have their name, but I'm just trying to keep everything in mind. But another YouTuber put out a video where they was basically showing how Kenneka could be digitally added into the footage and removed from the footage. So they was basically showing us like, look, this is not her walking in with her friends. It looked like they like digitally put her in the footage. So I say either A, they did see her walking in the beginning, but they just didn't want to use the footage at all because it was just too much that needed to be cleaned up, or B, they never saw her walking in because they snuck her in. Could be of leaving the Doubletree Hotel or leaving from somewhere else and got snuck in through the back door. But either way, we all remember when Rosemont PD stated that, by first looking at this video, that they didn't even prove that they seen Kenneka. Okay, and so this website says if Miss Jenkins had not gone back to the hotel a second time, demanding that the footage be looked at again, they would have maintained that they didn't see her, and we wouldn't have gotten this far. And that's the thing too. If they had have maintained that they didn't see her at all, we wouldn't have gotten this far. As far as even getting the files and being able to look into everything, break everything down. Only thing we'll have to go off of is those 2 labs, and still wondering whether or not that those 2 labs was done at the Crown Plaza or another hotel. But I think that her putting her foot on their back and asking for that surveillance that kind of got us where we are today. Okay. Fast forward about 24 hours later, a hotel worker tracked us down and offered up an interesting deal. It was a lot of deals being made behind the scenes, y'all. And I told y'all this, like I told y'all this from day one. It was a lot of deals being done, and I actually called it roundtable talk. A lot of deals being made behind the scenes about this private footage, or about this cover up, or about here is how we're going to take things, how we're going to deal with things from here on out. Okay, so there was a deal, interesting deal we later confirmed to be authentic. In exchange for their anonymity, I forgot how to pronounce that, they would show us the video that proves something isn't right. In that video, only half of Kenneka's activities are actually seen in the video itself. So in the video that we have, only half of Kenneka's activities is being seen in the video itself. Now look what they're saying that they saw in a video that they were shown, the original footage. Here's what's in the video. She is seen near the freezer. Although we haven't released footage of Kenneka no less than just a few hours before she was seen in the lobby, proving that she was not drunk or stupid intoxicated at the time. So although what they say, the video that they say, it lines up so much, and I'm gonna show y'all the same video that Andrew Holmes seen, the difference between what they seen and Andrew Holmes seen. They seen Kenneka near the freezer in the kitchen area, but they never claimed to see her actually walk in, as Andrew Holmes did. So we have a second camera that's operating and above the freezer, just as Teresa stated, because how did Andrew Holmes see footage of her walking, quote unquote, her walking into the freezer? Okay, and this is the reason why I also believe that excuse me if I'm going a little bit too far, but I had already had all this stuff in my mind anyway. But so there is another footage, or there was an operating camera above the freezer, just as Teresa Martin said. Okay, and or if it wasn't, then Holmes, how did you allegedly see her walking into the freezer? Do y'all get what I'm saying? Now, Bizarre Daily News basically saw the same footage, or the Daily News saw the same footage as Andrew Holmes, but they didn't see footage of Kenneka walking into the freezer. They saw her near the freezer. Okay. She is seen in the hall on the 9th floor. So they're telling us that they actually see her in the hall on the 9th floor. And we were told there are no cameras on the 9th floor. She does not appear to be staggered throughout the hallway, but not as she does appear to stagger throughout much of the hallway, but not as if she was heavily intoxicated. Okay, so she appears to be staggering, but not as if she's heavily intoxicated. She does not indicate in any way that she may not have been heavily intoxicated to the point she was impaired. She does open numerous doors and almost frantically. Now, this is something else that Andrew Holmes stated, and I'm going to show you guys that in the video after this. We did not see Kenneka opening numerous doors. We only have footage of her opening one door, the male bathroom, right? So they actually saw footage of her opening numerous doors. And they say almost frantically, indicating that she may have been running from something. Let me keep my eyes on this chat too, because there's some people that's going to be blocked on site. And I do mean on site. Hello, everybody. Okay, and this is the same statement that Andrew Holmes made. So this is how I know that they both saw the same footage. And remind you, the Daily News dropped this article, or the original article, that they had footage before Andrew Holmes said anything about seeing footage. It gets better, y'all, trust me. She does appear in the hotel lobby, but makes her way back to the elevators. We don't see that. We don't see that. I wonder is John Q in here, because we need John Q or somebody. We need to find out if we can use their report and a statement as far as getting the case back reopened, because evidently it's the original footage that they see with Kenneka opening several doors, and also we can line it up with Andrew Holmes with his testimony about Kenneka opening up several doors, about her appearing in a hotel lobby, but makes her way back towards the elevator. Where is this? We never saw this. So again, this is proof that there is original footage, or there was original footage out there, but not given to the public. Hey, the hater, let me give you a ranch, the hater, because I see you be going hard for me. Let me give you a ranch real quick. Okay, you now a moderator. What happened to that footage? Exactly, Amazing 80, exactly. Okay. Subsequently, on 9/12, we reported that 12 people were being investigated in connection in some way to the death of Kenneka. Like I told you guys, these people have been following the story since day one and reporting on Kenneka since day one. So 9/12, they reported that it was 12 people that was being investigated in connection in some way to the death of Kenneka. Now, we know at some point they claimed that her death was being investigated, even after receiving the footage. Even after receiving the original footage, they put out that 12 people was being investigated in some way. What happened? How do we go from you getting the original footage saying 12 people was going to be investigated to saying no, scrap that all along? She walked into the freezer. You would have saw that in the beginning while looking at the original footage, if that's what happened, right? So how do you go from retrieving the original footage, looking at the original footage, to saying we're going to investigate 12 people and then just, no, scratch that. She walked into the freezer. Come on now. Come on now. Sources told our reporters that police were specifically looking at 12 people, but had only come down to 8. They were still looking for the final 4 individuals of interest. So at some point, y'all, we all know that the police had 12 suspects at large. We know that. We know that. And they had the original footage in their possession. But they went from that to putting out edited footage and saying she walked into the freezer, to completely changing the narrative altogether. And I'm going to show y'all how Rosemont PD is responsible for editing the footage prior to uploading it to their site. And they also are responsible for, or was connected to, Andrew Holmes as well. And had Andrew Holmes to say the ending part, because like I said, Bizarre Daily News and Andrew Holmes both saw the original footage. And it was also another YouTuber that they mentioned in this article I'm going to get to that saw the original footage. But yet, nobody actually saw her walking into the freezer other than Andrew Holmes. So it was a deal made there as well. But we're going to get further into that. I don't want to be all over the place. The same information will later come out of multiple other sources. The same information will later come out of multiple other sources. But this is where Rosemont PD's story gets dangerously confusing. We previously reported of the 12 people of interest. They later came out and said such, but now they've allegedly shown the same foot. Listen to this. But now after they already seen the footage, after they already said 12 people of interest, now they allegedly show the same footage to a man who is Andrew Holmes, who's now proven to be a fraud, and in no way was approved to see any of the footage by Kenneka's mob. So Daily News is telling you right there, they allegedly showed the same footage to Andrew Holmes. So Daily News, Andrew Holmes saw the same footage. So Andrew Holmes was not lying when he was talking about the footage that he saw. When he was talking about he saw Kenneka walking through the halls, Kenneka opening up several doors. When he was saying he saw Kenneka in the lobby. When he was not being dishonest with that part. because there was another source that put out a report that they also saw that same original footage. Okay, but like I said, eventually that the original footage was edited and uploaded, and a theory was uploaded to Rosemont's website. Uh-oh, my daughter have a lot of pop-ups on this laptop, so in case y'all hear it. Okay, now here's where we come in. When it became public knowledge, at least to some, that we had seen the footage, we knew something wasn't right, wasn't about to go right. It wasn't long until it would emerge of an apparent video from some dude from YouTube who has now been found to be just as much as a liar as Holmes, citing the same information we already knew, except he was never authorized to see it. Now, I'm not going to really throw no speculations out there, but y'all know I would throw a speculation out there when it comes to looking into this case and just trying to wrap my mind around everything. And I'm going to be a little messy here, because what YouTuber actually saw the original footage and sided with Andrew Holmes and tried to convince the J4K YouTube community that Kenneka walked into that freezer? Let me see who will get that right, because it wasn't too many of them. It wasn't too many YouTubers out there who was hell-bent on the fact that Kenneka walked into the freezer. What YouTuber could have possibly seen the original footage and was sided with Andrew Holmes and tried to convince the J4K YouTube community that Kenneka walked into the freezer? There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay, y'all with me? Y'all with me? So we find out that it was some dude from YouTube that was also given the original footage, but that person was proven to be a liar, just as Holmes. Lying about what? The fact that they saw the ending, the fact that they saw Kenneka walk into a freezer. And I'm just telling y'all, this is just my, this is just my opinion. I believe that that YouTuber could possibly be Mr. Gray Hughes, because I don't see no other YouTuber getting access to that original footage and try to go out there and convince the people that Kenneka walked into a freezer. Hello. Hello. I'm just saying. To prepare for the event, that's why we've covered this from start to finish. It is quite clear that there is something going on here. There are two popular narratives going around here. The one we are keeping front and center, which is the fact that she walked into the freezer, and the one the police and the city of Rosemont would like you to know. The one that we keep in front and center, and the one that the police and the city of Rosemont would like you to believe, which is she walked into a freezer on her own. This part is purposely in standoutish fonts to make you read it. We can't think of any other way to get people to pay attention. Okay? We cannot lose control of the narrative that is very clear, the one they don't want people to know. We now know people are coming out of the woodwork lying on Miss Martin Jenkins, trying to maintain that she walked into the freezer, but won't release the entire security footage from A to B. They're saying she walked into the freezer, but they won't release the entire security footage. So this is the reason why I believe that she's on their neck about that, or she was on their neck about that camera above the freezer. She heard talk from I'm assuming different sources, like such as Andrew Holmes, maybe news reporters, that they actually saw Kenneka walk into the freezer. Well, if you saw Kenneka walk into the freezer, show me. Are y'all following me? Show me. So either y'all are lying about that, or you see what I'm saying? Show me. Or y'all telling me that there was a camera above that freezer. So show me where y'all seen her walk into the freezer. So that part, they had to edit the footage because that part they could not show. The part with her being in the lobby, they cannot show. They couldn't show the world. They couldn't show her mom. This is what was edited out the original footage for some reason. I'm not going to speculate and say why, because I don't know why would they remove that lobby footage. Evidently, Kenneka was not, she was guided into that freezer. She was not alone. The camera that actually caught her going into the freezer, she must not have been alone. If they won't show her mom that footage that Andrew Combs claimed he's seen. If they won't show the world that same footage that he claimed he's seen. He did see some original footage, because what he claimed he saw lines up with what other reporters saw in the very beginning of this original footage. But that part right there, if you did see that, show us the footage of that. Right? Show us that. In the midst of all this, we spoke to 2 hotel workers, a security guard, and an eyewitness who almost entirely debunked the police in full. Okay, so listen to this. Here's our problem with the police. This is coming from the hotel workers and the security guard. Here's our problem with the police. We have already released footage of Kenneka not noticeably stupid drunk, as it has claimed to be. And also from the original footage, we have to also consider the fact that she wasn't stupid drunk. So, which makes me believe that they did reenact that hall walking scene, because if y'all can remember, I showed y'all the 2 different individuals, and I showed y'all how one is thicker than the other, how one hair is longer than the other. So they did do a reenactment or reenactment where they actually had another individual to walk through the hotel, because they had to make her look staggering drunk. But this news reporter is saying that in their original footage, she wasn't even appeared to be stupid drunk. Are y'all following me? Drop me a 1. So in the original footage, something else, y'all. She didn't appear to be stupid drunk. So why would they do a redactment? Why would they do a reenactment of somebody walking through the halls who's thicker than Kenneka? Some people thought it was a man dressed like a woman. Some people thought it was Tenacious. But all of us, I mean, come on, y'all. We all wasn't off about the fact that it wasn't just one Kenneka that walked through the hall. We all wasn't off about that. They tried to make us feel like we was off, and we said, oh no, who is this person? Because this person don't look nothing like what we saw in the beginning. But they had to do, and this is the reason why, in my opinion, that they did a reenactment of somebody walking through the halls, is because they had to make them appear stupid drunk. Because in the original footage, per Daily News, she wasn't. She wasn't. And we hearing it from the, so I'm not coming up with this. We just reading Bizarre Daily News, article from the UK. All right. So let's start there. She suddenly appears in the hallway, opening doors, trying to find something or possibly flee something. We don't see that. And ends up in the lobby. We do not see that. And they even said when on original footage, and this is what we really need to have. This, because I believe the original footage, this is what I believe the original footage show. I believe it shows a maybe drugged up Kenneka, but she was still conscious enough to try to get out that hotel or try to find her way maybe to the room to get her keys and flee, and she was running from somebody or something. We don't have that. Are y'all feeling me? We don't have that. We have not yet to see that. We have not seen Kenneka, consciously aware that people was following her, or she trying to get away from somebody and she opening up different doors. We did not see that. And she end up in a lobby. So if she end up in a lobby, and I'm just trying to, make it make sense. If she ends up in a lobby after appearing in the hallways, opening up door. Okay, let's just say they did not catch her entering inside the Crown Plaza. Let's just say she came in through a back door. Somebody was chasing her. Somebody was on her tail or whatever. And she looking for her car keys. She looking for her phone. Let's just say she's in a hallway. And according to them and original footage, she opening up doors. She trying to flee something or someone, and she end up in a lobby. Could it be the reason why they removed the lobby footage is because she was trying to get help? Because they removed the lobby footage. It makes no sense. Okay, and because it says right here that, after trying to flee something, this is what they saw, and trying to open up several doors, not just one like we saw. She ended up in a lobby. So we know they mixed real footage and then came out with a redacted version of her to where she actually looked drunk and staggering and intoxicated, as if she was just on her way to the freezer to go rest. None of that makes sense, y'all. They mention the same footage that we've already seen, but make no mention of why the rest of the footage is missing. So this report actually says they mention the same footage that they seen, but it makes no mention of the rest of the footage that's missing. They put it out long ago that it was missing footage, and they felt like it was really bizarre, which is why it's called Bizarre News, Bizarre Daily News. It was really bizarre that they would only give us a portion of the footage and not the full footage. And remember, they didn't have what Andrew Holmes claimed to have seen towards the end, which is her actually walking in there. They wasn't shown that footage from that particular camera as Andrew Holmes claimed he has seen. But everything else that they seen lines up with what Andrew Holmes claims he's seen, which, like I said, I'm going to play a video for y'all, and we're going to listen out his own mouth. The fact that he saw original footage of Kenneka opening up several doors and staggering, trying to find our way. But then he adds to it at the end and say how which another camera would have had to catch, he actually saw Kenneka walking in the freezer and lay down. And so I'm sure that's why Teresa said, well, hey, if you've seen that, if anybody's seen that, show it to me. And which is why everybody is protesting, show us the tapes, the real tapes. Which I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all knew this, but I just felt like it was worth discussing and bringing Bizarre Daily News, because I had this article like last year. I knew about it. But we was trying to talk them into releasing whatever footage that they had. As far as if they had any original footage, we didn't know if they was just showing this or if they still had it in their possession. So we was offering them money to get it so we can bring it to you guys. But I'm here today to tell you guys, let's work as a team. I need help, because I gave them a whole year to respond and they haven't. So maybe if we all email this company, maybe somebody will have some luck and get some response, and we'll get that original footage. I can care less about me being the one to break that footage. I just want that footage to surface, and I feel like we all should see whatever it was that they saw. Okay, so she suddenly appears in a hallway, opening doors, trying to find something or possibly flee from something, and ends up in a lobby. They mention the same footage we've already seen, but makes no mention of why the rest of the footage is missing. She can't be silly drunk 1 minute, but then be dispelled the next as drunk by video available on YouTube, and then suddenly drunk again to stumble into a freezer. Because that's what they want you to believe. And Bizarre is saying that she can be silly drunk, stupid drunk. But then, the footage that we see, she's not that intoxicated. But then she's suddenly drunk again to where she stumbled into a freezer. And maybe they made her appear as if she was stupid drunk, because all we hear in those lives is people trying to convince her to get drunk. And I'm talking about as far as what we hear in the labs. I'm not talking about as far as if it's real or not, but as far as the audio that we hear, we hear of a drunk Kenneka. So even though we have original footage of her not appearing to be as intoxicated, but actually running from something, we need to make it appear as if she's extremely intoxicated enough to walk into a freezer and just lie down. If y'all get what I'm saying. Okay, despite his many claims otherwise, which we captured on video, in that video, that emerged of Andrew Holmes on 9/14, he claimed, quote unquote, that he was authorized to view the footage on behalf of the Jenkins Martin family, which we know that he was not. And he actually reviewed that footage, that original footage, while he was at Rosemont PD. And I'll share with y'all my thoughts later, but he was actually at Rosemont PD, and we'll see that when he saw the original footage. Okay. A claim that seen below has been determined to be entirely a lie proven to be a lie by none other than Miss Martin Jenkins herself. So we already know that Teresa Martin said she did not give him permission to see any footage because he allegedly seen the footage before her, and she did not approve of that. You can clearly see Ms. Martin Jenkins discuss her daughter's death and Holmes, who she says has no viable connection to the family, nor is he a part of the operation to seek justice. Furthermore, nobody's quite sure how Holmes actually got access to the footage. Well, I am. I mean, and it's common sense if we just look at the video I'm getting ready to show you. He actually says it himself. He said Rosemont PD showed him the footage. So he was being used by Rosemont PD as well as the Crown Plaza to stop the protests, to paint the world. He started this whole narrative thing. He the first one that brought this whole narrative thing to us to try to get us to convince us to believe in what they were saying, as far as being the one to speak on it. But he actually says out his own mouth that he was shown the original footage. He didn't say original, but he was shown the footage from Rosemont PD. It is very clear it wasn't through the family. Ms. Jenkins makes it clear that there is no set time or schedule for any of their family members to view the footage. Okay, so let me go down a little bit. Okay, facts about her death. She was found around 12:30 a.m. Sunday, according to numerous people, and this is the apparent coroner's officer. This is the information that was given to them in the beginning. Remember, this article was wrote on 9/14. The cops originally said the freezer was on, and then backtracked to now say it was off. In the video, it appears to be off. Now, the video that they saw, the original video that they saw, it appears to be off. Different accounts from those in the room placed her in final moments before, or maybe they was judging by the footage. I mean, the pictures. I don't know. Before seen on the security footage in question. But this right here is what I wanted to bring out. She was clearly scared of something. Seen pressing numerous elevator buttons. Where did they see this at? She was clearly scared of something. Seen pressing numerous elevator buttons in surveillance footage. Right here they have in bold letters. We are concealing where we saw the video. Even now more than ever, due to the fact that someone is clearly hiding something. Okay, also, if you guys can remember, the original story her mother was given, I don't know if you guys can remember this, drop me a 1, because I do. The original story that her mother was given, including this particular line, Kenneka went back into the hotel room to retrieve her personal items. But then it changed again that her friends retrieved the items and she disappeared. So the friends also mentioned that Kenneka was left in the lobby. It was so many different stories that changed. Okay, but remember in the beginning, her mother was told that Kenneka went back to the hotel room to retrieve her personal items. And as I just said before, was she frantically walking and afraid and trying to get her personal items? Because they also saw footage of her on the 9th floor. This is totally different from what we're looking at, people. That's all I'm trying to point out. Is John Q in here? Hey, John. I'm gonna send you the link to this article right here and see what can we do with this, because this is a news report that was made out around 9:14, and we've been trying to get a hold to this original footage that they claim they saw, and they actually put this article out, or the very first article out, before Andrew Holmes claimed he saw the exact same footage, where we have one Kenneka, frantic, not really drunk, um, or silly drunk, as they say. They saw Kenneka stumbling through the hallway like she was afraid or something, and frantic. She opened up several doors. She was caught on the ninth floor. She was seen in the lobby. We don't have that. She was seen on the elevator pressing several buttons. We don't have any of this footage. So that right there alone should prove that the footage was edited. And Kenneka was taking out a lot of footages or a lot of scenes. Now, the last part doesn't coincide with the video. However, Kenneka was clearly in the hallway, eager to get her belongings, according to multiple accounts from those at the party. So why would she steadily begin to make her way down a massive hallway, opening all doors possible, still not clearly heavily drunk, and quickly exiting them as if she was running from something? So if Kenneka was seen, or we, from what we've been told, on her way to her room to get her belongings, why was she, how did she end up downstairs in the freezer, and not, and if she's in the lobby, not walk directly out the door? Do you get what I'm saying? Unless somebody would not let her out the door. How? Unless somebody was threatening her and she knew if she walked outside, they would also be outside waiting on her. You see what I'm saying? Like, it don't make sense. But let's keep in mind, folks, the original footage that they saw, she was not that intoxicated, and she was frantic. Okay, John. I thought we discussed this before. I thought we discussed this before. Okay, so we're going to look at this one right here. And I'm going to show you guys how what they saw lines up with what Andrew Holmes saw. Exactly, million. She just popped out of nowhere. So that shows right there that, we don't have the full video. We don't have the full video. Okay, this one is Transcript Part 2. Transcript Part 2, Hotel Worker and Kenneka Jenkins' Death. Last week, we published the transcript of the phone call in which took place with the employee of the Crown Plaza Hotel. We subsequently published the names of the owners, their phone numbers, and their shady past. Now, we all know that, we all should know that, all of which almost immediately caused a much needed discussion. What is the hotel hiding? Now comes part 2. The missing part of that discloses the disturbance difference in timestamps released on the same video we released on the 12th of September ahead of the police. The videos share several different timestamps, but also features quite a few gaps in times, which we all know that. Several different timestamps, and it also has quite a few gaps in times, which we believe is when Kenneka was removed from footage. Part 2 continue. Okay, so here it is. They're having a discussion with the hotel worker. Okay, and so Saint Germain says, "Why did you choose to provide us these tapes?" The hotel worker says, because when I saw one of yours running around the Crown Plaza Hotel dressed as a construction worker, I knew it was only a matter of time until you guys got your hands on them anyway. I felt I was doing what was right because you can clearly tell that they've been edited and were edited from the jump. There's no footage of her entering the hotel, entering the freezer, or anything of that kind. I'm gonna let that marinate for a minute. Because I specifically remember a YouTuber sharing that they believe that Kenneka was placed in that footage with her and her friends. And they specifically, do y'all remember that? Drop me a one. And they specifically show how easy it was to just place her there. And y'all know I'm not computer savvy at all. I don't know how to do anything like that. So I was like shocked when I seen that video, like, wow. Okay, but there's no footage of her entering the hotel, entering the freezer, or anything of that kind. The only footage that they intend to release is the footage of her actually leaving the hotel room and stumbling through the hallway. The only footage that they intend to release is the footage of her actually leaving the hotel room and stumbling through the hallway. You previously told us that security was called to the room over disturbances, a possible drug use. Tell us more about that. The hotel worker says people complained several times that they smelled marijuana, and which this was something that raised the flag for me in the very beginning. Like, you could smell marijuana loud. So I was wondering, like, of course, that was proof that they was in on the fact that they didn't shut them down when they started getting all these complaints about the use of marijuana or the smell of marijuana in the room. People complained several times that they smelled marijuana, that the teenage girls / older men were in the hallway doing drugs. I remember one lady called downstairs to tell the front desk that she, quote unquote, had seen several boys in the hallway appeared as if they were on drugs and not just marijuana. Some people reported to the front desk that they were in the room at first and then will repeatedly enter and leave. Okay, and so we know that, from what the police reports say, that we had some people that was in the hallway shooting dice. We know it's the people, so basically what this person was saying, that they was running in and out the room. And you can smell the marijuana. And it seemed like some people was, drugged out at this party, which I wouldn't doubt. You have young people drinking lean nowadays, popping pills, all type of stuff. Okay, so this person said, one of your co-workers demonstrated how to enter the freezer that the hotel claims Kenneka walked into. Do you believe your manager? Hotel worker, I do not believe the hotel. As the young lady demonstrated, it would have been almost virtually impossible for a young woman beyond drunk to enter and lock herself into the freezer. That's the first part. The second part is the fact that particular freezer doors to the right and closes to the left, as it was demonstrated in the video. And if y'all can remember this video right here, a woman demonstrates how Kenneka Jenkins opened the freezers. Okay. Can you tell us about the people who actually own the hotel? The hotel worker says, you guys asked me the same question when I first provided you the tapes from the hotel. You are right. The Crown Plaza Hotel is owned by F&F Realty, also owned by David Friedman, who has long been rumored to have been appointed to Donald Trump's cabinet earlier this year. He is a very wealthy man and has quite a bit of power on his hands. He owns the funky human harvesting place down the street from the hotel, something that most don't realize. They've been caught in more than half a dozen different scandals, including mishandling body parts for financial gain. He says, elaborate on this body harvesting company for so our readers can understand more. It is an organ harvesting place in reality, but they market it and present it as a research and information facility after humans actually die. They claim that they perform tests and such on bodies after death to human life, but just like years ago, that was proven to be a lie. They've been hijacking body parts for years. They have previously been sued for it and then denied that they know where the body parts originally went. The company will later become what was of the black market body harvesting ring in Chicago several years ago. Okay, so they go more into details about that, which we all should know. Let me try to remove these pop-ups. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay. So would you say this is happening again inside the hotel? The hotel worker says there's a reason nobody has heard much of the name David Freeman since this scandal broke. He's wiped just about any mention of himself off the internet after the scandal a few years ago. I'm leaving it at that. Okay. You've seen the original tapes. What happened to them? This person states the hotel provided the original tapes to the police. Listen, the hotel provided the original tapes to the police, but only on the condition that they did not show the entire tape. That's why you don't see Kenneka entering the hotel or in the hallway with her friends. You only see her leaving out of an elevator. They don't want you to see the part where she was in the hallway and, or I think they meant lobby, and there's a reason for that. You've got 5 friends who now say she was in the hallway with them, but the hotel refuses to show that footage. Okay, so this person said the original tapes was released, was given to the police. Okay, because, and the reason why I believe is because they needed to create the narratives, or to do their fake investigation and create these narratives and pretty much close this case out and get rid of the whole thing for the Crown Plaza. So they said that the original tapes was released to Rosemont PD in exchange that they don't show the entire tape. Okay. And so when we wonder how did Andrew Holmes get a hold to this footage, we're going to listen to a video where he actually said he was given this footage by Rosemont PD, or he was shown this footage. I'm sorry. He was shown this footage by Rosemont PD. The original tapes. Yeah, the hotel and the police made a deal, Stephanie. The hotel and the police made a deal. And I'm pretty sure the police was paid off. And I'm pretty sure that they work with the owner of the hotel. I'm pretty sure that they have some type of business arrangement. But yeah, in regards to this particular case right here, they was given the original tapes per this owner, per the Daily News. They was given the original tapes, but only in the condition they didn't show the entire footage. So we also have a Andrew Holmes stating in an interview that he did, and another YouTuber had put out this video where Andrew Holmes specifically said that a technician at Rosemont PD had a technician to come in and view the tapes. Why would a technician need to come in and view the tapes? So they can edit the tapes. Evidently, why would an expert need to come in and view the tapes? If Rosemont PD have tapes and have footage of her being intoxicated, walked into a freezer, then why would they need to hire a technician to come from the outside in to view this footage? So they definitely made a deal per Daily News again that the original tapes was handed over to the police, but certain parts they needed to remove. They did not show the full tape because evidently certain parts showed a crime. It proved a crime. And we also had parts that did not prove that she walked into the freezer, not at least by herself. Okay, so this was a good article right here. Now let's go to this video real quick, y'all. Can y'all see the YouTube video? Draw me in one if y'all can see the YouTube video. I'm gonna have to get out and get back in. Yeah, and you know what? I was wondering that. Realize, I was wondering, was Target also, was they the editor of those videos? You know, was it somebody that was behind the scenes that worked for Target? I was wondering, were they the ones that originally edited the footage and gave it to Rosemont PD and took away certain parts that they didn't want the world to see? Y'all don't see the surveillance video, the YouTube page? Okay, let me get out and get back in. So this is the reason why, you guys, like, everything is just so screwed up, because we have to keep in mind we don't have the original tapes. We don't. And what we have, you know, the most vital part of the footage was removed. It was removed. Where it showed parts of Kenneka frantically running around the hotel or trying to find her way out or trying to find her way away from something. We don't have that part. Her opening up several doors. We don't have that part. So I'm gonna go ahead and play a piece of this breaking news, so you guys can hear Andrew Holmes say or describe the video that he saw, which lines up with the same video that Daily News saw.
News in the death of a young woman at a suburban hotel, what surveillance video shows. Good evening, I'm Rob Johnson.
And I'm Erica Sargent. For days, the big question: how did Kenneka Jenkins wind up in a freezer? CBS 2's Sandra Torres is live at the Rosemont Police Station tonight. Sandra.
Well, Rob and Erica, a short time ago, crisis responder Andrew Holmes came here to the Rosemont Police Department. He told us he saw the surveillance video, a video that shows Kenneka walking into that freezer on her own.
Me looking at the video, she was trying to find her way back upstairs to the lobby.
So here we go once again. We have him saying she was trying to find her way back upstairs to the lobby. The other person said they felt like she was trying to find her way to the lobby, or she was trying to find her way to get her belongings, is what they stated. Now listen to how their stories match. And I didn't forget about Cassandra Van Treek, Fred, the editor-in-chief, but you know, my point is that this footage was edited before downloading to the Rosemont website, because I thought that Cassandra Van Treek was the, you know, she worked for Chicago Tribune, and she was the one that actually edited the 36-hour footage to present it to the news station. You know, because we can't watch 36 hours of footage on the news, right? So, but somebody, which I believe could have been Target, somebody edited that footage, because according to the Daily News report, Crown Plaza had the original footage and had given it over to Rosemont PD on account of them not showing the full tape. So when it was in their possession, Andrew Holmes saw it while it was in their possession. He's getting ready to say it right now, how he saw the original footage. He's describing the same original footage that somebody showed Daily News. He's also describing the original footage. So Rosemont Police Department had this footage edited before uploading to their site. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and play it.
And she was checking the doors, and she was checking other doors, just trying to find her way back upstairs. So,
she was checking the doors, and she was checking other doors. The same thing that they said is she was checking several doors. We only see her checking one door. We see her walking into the men's restroom, and we see her coming out, and that's it. So when she was in that lower level, there's also something that's been removed from there, or somewhere where she was checking other doors, because we sure don't see it. We don't see that. She's an edit for hire. I can understand that. Okay, Fred. Yeah, she could have been hired prior to you. You absolutely right. Because I did hear that she edited for the Sandra Bland footage. Okay, look what he's saying he's seen, y'all.
Saying that she was walking forward where all of the video cameras caught her every movement, and I watched her as she went through the other door, and at the same time, she went through an unsecured area, which is not her fault.
And that unsecured area is where the walk-in freezer was located. And here's what else we know at this hour. Rosemont police tell us they released the surveillance video to the attorney of Kenneka's mother so she can view it. They also released the video to the medical examiner's office because they requested it as part of their investigation. And lastly, we have learned that the Crown Plaza Hotel has offered to pay for the funeral expenses of Kenneka. Now, Andrew Holmes is asking the public to stop speculating on social media.
And that was Andrew Holmes' job. Okay, so that was his job, is to get everybody to stop digging, to stop speculating on social media, to stop the protests. Okay, and this is the reason why he was shown the footage, because I believe he also made a deal. Okay, I'll do exactly what you asked me to do. I'll speak to the people. I'll speak to the mom and ask her to stop the protests. I'll speak to the people and tell them to stop speculating on social media, to stop digging. However, you must show me the original footage of what happened to that girl. Is anybody with me? Drop me a 1. So he wasn't lying about what he saw when he speaks about the original footage of her walking in several doors, of her being seen in the lobby area. He wasn't lying about that part of the footage. However, I believe a part of the deal, he could not go on a record and say somebody was down in that kitchen area with her, or somebody led her to her death, or he had to actually say, if I go public and say I saw this footage, I have to bring it to a conclusion, which is I have to stick with Rosemont PD's narrative that she walked herself into the freezer, because Daily News never reported that part. They simply reported the fact that they seen the original footage of her on the 9th floor, of her walking through different doors, but they never said that they seen her walk into the freezer. So that part right there was added on, because I believe that he made a deal with Rosemont PD and said, okay, I'll do what you guys asked me to do, but you got to let me see the original tape. You have to let me see. And this is the reason why they show him this tape before even showing her mother, because what they gave to her mother's attorney was exactly what we see, 36 hours of edited footage. Boom. Why would the medical examiner need to have a video to do their job? Why? They all in on it. Because in order for his report or statement to line up with theirs, I want to also see the footage so I can make it make sense. You see what I'm saying? And they was also given the edited footage. Show me what was going to be released to the public. So at some point, Rosemont PD had the original footage, per Daily News, given to them by the Crown Plaza, and they were responsible for not showing the full video. Now, I can agree with Fred and say maybe Cassandra was the one who was editor for hire, was the one that took certain pieces out and claimed she only did it for the media, but she could have. And this could be the reason why a piece of the original, which I still think Miranda and them actually got I know a lot of y'all don't believe that Miranda and them got a hold to a piece of the original, but if Cassandra was a part of it and she worked for Chicago Tribune, and this could be a reason why a piece of the original footage was leaked. So of course they wouldn't go back and admit to it. Of course they wouldn't. But y'all, we have to keep in mind that it was other witnesses. It was people that speaking of a footage that we didn't see. And if you think about the footage that Miranda, what's her last name? Miranda Morgan released, it was people down there with her. And she did appear to be frantic and scared. And she couldn't have been that intoxicated because she was opening doors. She was trying to get away from them. When she see a shadow or somebody hiding behind a wall, she would take off, or not running, but in the other direction, in the next direction. So there is an original footage that we have not seen. And I mean, so as far as us proving that the footage is edited, I mean, it was already said to be edited. When we don't see Kenneka in the halls, we don't see her opening several doors. And what was given to the attorney and what was given to the medical examiner is the footage after it was already depicted. Accidentally leaked, exactly.
Facebook infight stop, because if you're accusing this person of doing something, you're accusing that person of doing something, then what you need to do, if you got solid evidence that they did something, some foul play to this baby, you need to talk to the detectives and give that information to them. Just don't put it out there on Facebook, because if you put it out there, then be prepared to answer what you put out there.
And just a few minutes ago, attorneys for the Crown Plaza Hotel told us it's important to point out that walk-in freezer cannot be locked from the inside. Reporting live from Rosemont, Sandra Torres, CBS 2 News. Rob.
Sandra, thank you.
And which we already know that we know that she was locked in there from the outside. Okay, and exactly what John said. Andrew Holmes, I couldn't have said it any better. Andrew Holmes was a go-between Teresa Martin, the police department, and the hotel, because y'all remember, the police department and the hotel already established an agreement. They already had an agreement. The police department was probably paid off. They already had an agreement. So they were working together as one. The police department and the hotel, they're working together as one. So he's the mediator in between the police department / hotel and Teresa Martin / the people. And so Teresa Martin, she says, well, if you claim to have seen this piece of the footage of her actually walking into the freezer, show me that. Show me that. Because I was wondering from the very beginning, like, why is she so stuck or hell-bent on the camera being above the freezer? Now I really get it. And I'm sorry, y'all, it did take me a while to actually get it, because in my mind, I'm thinking like, man, I'll be trying to tell them to tell me what's going on in that room and them labs. I'll be on Irene them neck. But now I actually get it, because if you claim to have seen my daughter walk into the freezer, where's that piece of the footage? Because we don't see it. So evidently what she was given was the same thing that we was given. Certainly not what Andrew Holmes claimed to have seen. Uh-oh, I might have accidentally removed your message, Stephanie. I don't know. My fault. Okay, so he actually talked about several doors being open. He actually talked about her being seen on the elevator as well, but I didn't pull up that one. But you guys can go back and listen to all his old interviews and things like that. Matter of fact, let me see if I can pull one up.
Get so much air there. She probably panicked. Lights out, and she panicking, and she got her system. I'm like, damn. Right. She's suffering. Yeah.
What's up, everybody? As you come in, share this video so we can go ahead and we want to put the facts out there and tell the people.
Notice how they say they want to put the facts out there. Notice how they say they want to put the facts out there based on what Andrew Holmes has seen. Notice they said they explicitly said, we're going to put the facts out there for the people. because we want to, stop all the social media, everybody digging into this case. So we're going to go ahead and put the facts out there, because what he saw wasn't original footage, but at the same time, we have to keep in mind, he made a deal with Rosemont to see that footage. He made a deal with them. I don't care what nobody say. He made a deal with them in order to actually see that footage. And as John said, Teresa Martin saw the first video footage after she had already believed that no one did anything to Kenneka. Good say. Didn't Holmes say he had a copy on his car? I didn't know that. Me myself personally, I don't know if anybody have a copy. I really don't even know who that anonymous source or that hotel worker that Daily News claimed that showed them the footage, or how they got a copy of the footage. It would make me believe it was somebody in a high power position where they had access to the security cameras to actually show them that footage. I don't know. I can't say I don't believe, but I don't know if they actually have a copy or if they just saw it. So this is the reason why we were trying to reach out to them and find out, okay, do you guys actually have a copy of the original footage? And if so, can you go ahead and leak it? Or can we, buy it from you? And so we was trying to reach out to them anonymously for almost a year. And we heard nothing of it, because I've been here at that article from them. And like I said, it was just recently when another YouTuber mentioned Kenneka being in the lobby, and they actually showed the time jump, because that's really important for us to look at the time skips. And I'm hoping that other YouTubers kind of like look into that as well. But if we look at the time skips, every place where the time is skipping, that is, I believe that is where Kenneka is seen. That is the parts of the video that they had removed. And those are vital scenes. Okay, vital information that they had removed out for a particular purpose. So I think it's very, very important that we do pay attention to the time jumps. I think it's very important that we pay attention to that, because that shows right there that she was definitely in the house for longer than we see. And in more scenes and more things was going on that we see, because we don't have the full original video. So it'd be really good if other YouTubers, go back to their old videos and maybe start doing new videos on the time jumps, and bringing that to everybody's attention to say, hey, here, right here, she could have been right here, and anything could have went down in this area, and kind of like look at the statements and compare it to, whatever that they may have, because I think that's very crucial. But when another YouTuber went live yesterday and mentioned the fact that she was in a lobby and mentioned the time jumping right there, well, I thought about this news article that actually states they saw her in the lobby on footage. So like I said, around the time and everything, I don't know. And they didn't have it in the report. But I think it's really critical that we do pay attention to those time jumps, because it's the reason for that. Even the person that wrote the article said, I found that to be very strange that they would have missing footage that they would release to the public. And the time changes and the time jumps. And, they found that to be very strange. Bizarre, as they would say. So I think that's something that we should really look into and focus on, guys, because evidently it was the reason why they took her out of those particular scenes and didn't want us to see them. So when she was in a lobby, was she headed back to the room to retrieve her belongings? Was she coming from the room? Was she looking for help? Who was down there with her? These are questions that we want to know. Because why would y'all remove something as simple as footage of her being in the lobby? And as the other YouTuber mentioned yesterday, which I don't want to really say nobody's name, because, sometimes people will come on here like, oh, you clout chasing on somebody else, which I think that's just ridiculous, because we all should be in it for the same fight. And if you in it for justice for Kenneka, then it shouldn't matter whether or not I use another YouTuber's name or mention their videos or anything. So those that, say things like that, to me, it just proves that you're not J4K. You're not at all. So, but my point is, we should definitely zero in on those time jumps, because that's definitely some things that they didn't want us to see. Okay, so that's why I say we have a private footage original private / original footage, and we also have an edited / public footage. And that right there, to me, in my opinion, should be enough to get the case reopened. I mean, if we can prove that there was original footage and that the original footage was edited. So John or somebody that can, if you can see if you can do something with this information, let me know. Because, I think that this was really vital when we have it in writing. Can we keep, continue to reach out to Bizarre Daily News? Get a notarized statement claiming that they've seen the original footage. I don't know. I'm gonna leave that in the hands of the J4K community.
What we know now, tell the people where we need to go from here. Share this video as you come in, because we only want to say this one time. So come on, share this video as you come in. I know everybody been calling me. I'm live with my man Andrew Holmes here. Share this video as you come in so we can say this one time. I know everybody been going crazy all over everybody's statuses, Facebook, like, what happened? What happened? What happened? We want to know what happened. We're going to finally put this story to rest and tell you guys what happened. Andrew Holmes, an activist here in the city of Chicago, he was able to not only see the video, he was able to talk with authorities. He was able to go inside the facility and look at the freezer. He knows, what happened to this young lady. And we want to tell you guys before the news tell you, before everybody else got the video, before the video is released later on. The family has been aware of this as well. And we want to make sure that we let the people know, give them updates on what's going on, so it don't look like we just keep using this, like people all over Facebook keep using this story, for Facebook fame or whatever. Let's put the facts out there. So share this video, and at 5 minutes of being on here, we're going to talk about what happened to Kenneka. So all 380 y'all, keep sharing this. Let's get the people on here so we can say this one time and get this out of the way. All right? One time only. And then you guys, figure out where we're going to go from here. So shout out to everybody that's been a part of this, protesting. Shout out to Andrew Holmes, who has been active from the beginning. You've been on this case from the first day, right? Absolutely. So Andrew been on this case, since the first day. Shout out to all other activists, all the residents who have came out and protested, the thousands of calls to the hotel, the thousands of calls to the police department. 4 days, the city of Chicago has came together for Kenneka. And I know Kenneka is proud to know that people are in her corner. She's in the sky probably smiling to know that people went out their way to make sure they found out what happened to her. All right. Now, she is not able to be here to say exactly what happened to her, but it's up to us to be the voice for her and make sure that the family gets some type of justice. And
y'all are not the voice for her. We are the voice for her. But anyway, I see some interesting stuff in the comments that I want to kind of address before I play this video. I don't know when he gonna stop clout chasing enough to get to Andrew Holmes. But somebody said, with a pending lawsuit, can a case be reopened? And that's a good question, Grandma K. That's a good question. And I really don't know the answer to that. So if somebody can answer that in the comments, that's a great question. I would love to know that. But I definitely believe that the case can be handed over to the FBI with new information. And at that point, it will be left up to them to decide what to do with the information. But I really don't know, because I'm also one of the people that believe a lot of times that anybody can be paid off or bought off. And in some instances, you would have to be a whistleblower to go against the grain. But I still have hope. I still have hope that God will turn this thing around and that all the truth will be revealed, because it's a lot of us will not sleep, or a lot of us will not let this go until we actually know without a doubt that Kenneka got her justice, that somebody been arrested for her murder, or that this case been reopened and established as a murder and not an accident. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good question, though. I would hope so. What about the YouTuber saying she was running naked throughout the hallway when they saw and no clear the footage and clear the footage. I don't know about that part. But from what Daily News report, I think that they probably would have put that out there because they actually went against the grain when they gave us what they gave us. But at the same time, they just had to keep immunity between them and a person that, the person that gave them, showed them the footage. They had to just keep their sources anonymous. But other than that, I think that they probably would have put that out there if she was actually naked, and they didn't. So I really don't know. Only thing I'm really showing is the fact that another source had basically confirmed the fact that there was original footage, and they confirmed this in the very beginning. And they was just as shocked as everyone else when they released the footage to the public that she was removed from a lot of scenes and all of the time skips and things like that. They were just as shocked. So and they were following this case and reporting on this case, and they reported from the very beginning what they saw and what was removed and taken away from what the public see. But they didn't mention anything about her being naked and running through the hall, so I don't know about that part. The biggest timestamp jump is in this case is the 17 missing hours of footage after Kenneka disappears from camera view in the kitchen, along with other missing footage from the other 6. Well, yeah, I do agree with that, John. That's like the biggest thing, because we don't know what happened to her after that time and to the time she was actually found. But we still have the 36-hour footage where we can tell that, it was footage that was removed, during that time. And so why? Why? I don't know. Something to make me think about Grandma Kay, and they are very well paid to go away. Okay. The numbers are very important, all in the name. Hey, Cheryl. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and play it.
And know exactly what happened to Kenneka. So at 5 minutes, we're going to start talking about what happened to Kenneka. And we only want to say this one time. So please share this video. We're going to allow a couple people to, ask questions as well.
He getting on my nerves. I got to fast forward him. He's getting on my nerves.
To lawyers, a daughter, somebody that you raised. And so, Andrew been on this. I appreciate him for being on this as much as he has since the first day. I appreciate everybody for doing this. I'm a new father. I could imagine what her mom is going through, especially with her mom, being sick at the same time. Even what you went through. You know what I'm saying?
Why is this man still talking? I'm sorry. I just had to pause it for a minute. Why did this man just give us over 5 minutes of conversation? Why did this man can somebody just please make it make sense for me? Why did this man just give us over 5 minutes of an introduction? I don't give us over 5 minutes of introduction. I say maybe 1.5, 2 minutes. I might say hello to everybody and let us all begin. Why did this man just give us over 5? Y'all, I'm sorry. My patience is very thin right now. Let me try to fast forward him because he's seriously getting on my last nerve. I'm sorry. Ain't talk about nothing. He's still giving his show.
All of the stories and conspiracies that people have been saying so far over the last 4 days.
Well, they can put the stories out with no facts and no teeth and no legs to crawl on. But if you put the story out there on Facebook and you put it out there like that, but if you know so much, then why not go to the authorities, sit down and talk with them if you don't have anything to hide? Don't put nothing out there that you don't know nothing about and alter somebody else's story.
Yeah, so all of the stories of, what about the body stories of the hotel selling body parts? And
yeah, that's just like I say, just to get some hits and some views,
Yeah.
So they asked him about the hotel. What about the hotel selling body parts? And if you notice, he laughed. He thought it was funny. He thought it was funny. What about the hotel selling body parts? Oh, what the heck? What about the hotel selling body parts? And he thought it was funny. And so Andrew Holmes saying, yeah, just to get some click and some views. I mean, this was information that really had awakened our people, because a lot of us had no idea of a biological resource center or organ harvesting or none of this stuff. And I grew up in the city of Detroit, and I didn't even know it was a warehouse full of body parts in Detroit. So this story like literally awakened a lot of our people to what's going on, to what's hidden. This right here alone should show y'all that he was paid off. That he was paid off, and to steer everybody away from digging and doing a research, because what he should have said was, even if this doesn't pertain to Kenneka Jenkins, it's still information that we should be aware of. This is still stuff that's really going on in this world. But this goes to show you how he was working on the side of Rosemont PD and Crown Plaza, because he literally saying, oh, they just posting that stuff for information, likes, and views. But that's not true. Because the fact of the matter is, he does own a biological resource center. He does. He have gotten convicted or indicted for selling human body parts. See what I'm saying? So that was not false, what the people was digging into and finding. But that goes to show you right there what side he was working on. Yeah, they was laughing as if it was a joke. They didn't expect us to keep digging after this interview, especially right here.
You throw a story out there, and then all of a sudden, you got people want to get interested in what you're talking about. So, you know, you're hurting the family more.
You hurt, and how hurt has the family been? You've been with them for that.
You know what, man, you know what? It's an unexplainable pain that mother is going through in that family. And then they have to turn around, not only deal with the death, but also deal with the social media stuff that's coming out there. That's that lady's baby. And as you stated, if that was our child, man, that's my baby they talking about. You're falsifying stuff about my child. That's not my child's character. So get the facts right, and let's deal with what we have to deal with. Go ahead.
All right, so it's been 5 minutes. I see y'all saying that. Andrew, talk to us about the facts. This is, and I want everybody to be prepared for this. We are reactive people, and I know everybody want to know what happened. Everybody put out their own stories. Let's talk about what actually happened. Let's talk about what the video actually shows and where we are, all right? And since y'all being very impatient, thank you. Andrew, what's the facts?
Well, first and foremost, thank all of you.
Andrew, what's the facts? Y'all see that? Andrew, what's the facts? Well, I'm not going to play the whole video. I'm just going to show you guys that, you know, when in the beginning, when he actually talked about the scenes that we have not, that's not in the edited footage, that it very much lines up with what Daily News had reported seeing. And towards the end, he basically fabricate, because when they asked him, was she frozen or was the freezer turned on and off, he goes into when he went in there. See, how did you even get access to go inside the freezer? You're not a real investigator. How was you able to go inside there? And he said, he claimed he went inside there with Rosemont PD, that they was right there with him when he went inside the freezer. So just pay attention to him. Now I'm gonna cut it off.
You all for joining in, and thank you other activists out there for being on the front line too, and everybody out there with the protests, and everybody out there with the prayers. But the video showed the young lady.
Look at his Masonic hand gesture. I'm sorry, I had to bring that up, you guys, in case a lot of y'all don't know. Yes, he is a part of the Freemasons, and might be a higher rank, a part of the world, what you call them, Royal Jesters Order. He might even be a part of them. But I just want y'all to kind of peep out. I'm pretty sure somebody brought that to y'all attention before, but just peep out how he begins, and he uses his symbolism, and which I'm pretty sure him being a part of the Brotherhood, just as well as Carl Nesbitt, just as well as the owners of the Crown Plaza, just as well as I'm sure a lot of the Rosemont Police Department, that's their brotherhood. That's what they all have and what aligns them together. So they all is basically playing on the same team. So when we see this man out here doing his activism work, and we think that he just all for the people, just keep in mind he is a part of secret society. He making his hand gesture right now. He's going to begin telling the story, because he was paid to actually say she walked into the freezer, and he was shown the original footage in exchange for him going along with their theory, if you guys get what I'm saying. So right now he's throwing up his symbolism to let them know that I'm down for the Brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? Y'all with me? Drop a 1. Let me go ahead and play it. I just had to throw that out there in case some of y'all ain't peeped the fact that he's throwing up his little Masonic symbolism.
In the lobby, and I watched her from the lobby walk to the elevator. Now, whether something, I'm saying this because the toxicology hasn't come out yet. We know she consumed some alcohol and was a little bit impaired.
But at the same time, if someone had put something in her drink, the toxicology would show. So that's very important, and we're waiting for that. But she did walk into that elevator, and she was trying to possibly get back up to the 9th floor, but she might have pushed the button, or the button was always...
Now, he's saying that she was in the lobby, and he was saying that she was trying to get back to the 9th floor. Now, he's describing in details what he's seen. He saw her in the lobby, and he saw her trying to get back to the 9th floor. And remember, Ms. Martin was told in the very beginning that Kenneka herself was going back to the 9th floor to retrieve her things. Now, I'm not trying to confuse the situation. This is what they're saying. This is what they were saying since the very beginning. Okay, and this is the reason why a lot of us felt like Kenneka met her enemy or her demise on her way back to go get her keys, until they went on and removed that lobby footage, and until they changed the whole story about her even being in the lobby. They completely changed the whole story about her being in the lobby, and they removed the footage. So it kind of makes me wonder, was she in the lobby with somebody who walked her back up or was helping her get back up to the 9th floor? And of course, he's not going to say that part if that is the case. But per Andrew Holmes, she was seen in the lobby and she was going to the 9th floor. Per the Daily News, she was seen in the lobby and she was going to the 9th floor to retrieve her belongings.
Push already to show lower level, and the elevator went down. Okay. So she got off the elevator. Which also, I'm sorry, y'all, but I am going to stop it in between because I have thoughts. I'm sorry. Which also makes me think, was that person that she was on the elevator with, did they hit the lower level and take her downstairs? Do y'all get what I'm saying? Instead of taking her upstairs to retrieve her belongings, did they hit that lower level button and take her downstairs? Are y'all following me? Because evidently they don't want us to see who she was with in that lobby, or who she walked away with while she was in the lobby. And it's the reason why they're covering up the fact that she was in the lobby. So here's what we know pertaining to the Daily News and Andrew Holmes. Kenneka was in that lobby at some point in some time. The time frame, I do not know. At some point at some time, she was in that lobby. At some point at some time, she goes back upstairs to retrieve her belongings. This is what was released in the very beginning. She may have allegedly hit the wrong button, or somebody that she was with hit the wrong button, allegedly hit the wrong button, and took her down to that basement area. Are y'all following me? And notice that when he was getting ready to talk about whether or not she was intoxicated, he said, we're going to just let the toxicology report explain whether or not she was drunk, or if somebody slipped her a pill. I'm not even going to speak on that. We're going to let the toxicology report explain that. Because remember, per the Daily News, she didn't seem like she was that intoxicated. Yeah, she was staggering, but she didn't seem like she was that intoxicated from what they said, to the point to where she looked like she did on the footage that we saw, which was something that was bizarre to them. So me, myself personally, I'm believing if she was seen in that lobby and they removed the whole fact that she was in the lobby and she was going to go retrieve her belongings. Because remember, I said that before, y'all. I said maybe she, was being followed, or could have left the DoubleTree Hotel and went back to go get her things. I said maybe she was going back to go get her things from, her car keys from Bree. And this is the reason why Bree got ghosted at a certain time, to where she couldn't be found. Maybe she went to go get her phone. But now we have the Daily News report, and we also have Andrew Holmes saying that for some strange reason, even though she was in the lobby and she was supposed to be going upstairs to the 9th floor to retrieve her items, she ended up downstairs. Now, me myself personally, and this is just my opinion, y'all, I don't believe she was alone. Because if she was alone and we see her at the desk, or we see her walk past the front lobby to get on the elevator, we would have still had that footage. So was she escorted by security because she was intoxicated?
intoxicated? Was she escorted by somebody to where they completely removed that footage and ended up in the basement? Or some of her friends? You see what I'm saying? It ended up in the basement. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep playing it.
I can see where she was staggering, as they said, and she got off. She went to the stairwell casing. The stairwell leads back upstairs. So
she was by herself throughout
this whole complete ordeal.
And we have to say she was by herself throughout this whole complete ordeal because we're going with the narrative. And Shannon, if that's the case, then I mean, maybe so. I don't know about the Daily News. I don't know their history. I don't know anything about them to actually confirm or deny that. But what I'm saying is they put out an article before this interview right here, claiming that they seen Kenneka opening up doors, claiming they seen the original interview before this interview right here. So if they put out this information on September the 14th or September the 12th, they put out the first report. On September the 4th, and they actually put in the first report that they had viewed the original footage. September the 14th, they broke down what they saw in the original footage and how they went to the police station and they interviewed the police and they said that it was an accident. They had 12 suspects first. Then they turned around and said it was an accident. They put out this information on September the 14th. Andrew Holmes went live with this interview right here on September the 16th. So he came behind them a couple of days later, basically explaining the same footage that they explained, which we did not see. So maybe when it comes to this particular case right here, they was dead on, and what they actually saw, they was dead on. I'm not going to discredit what they put out as far as Kenneka Jenkins' case, because of the simple fact, what they claim that they saw exclusively is the same thing what he saw exclusively. See, this is the reason why I'm playing his video too, in case anybody have doubts of the article, what the article claimed that they seen as far as the original footage. Now keep in mind, they put this report out way before he did. Way before he went live. Well, not way, but a couple days before he went live with what he saw. And it adds up. So that just shows me that it was original footage that was given to Rosemont PD, but not released to the public. So that's all I'm going to say with that right there.
I watched and looked for cameras everywhere. They showed me cameras everywhere. She walked to the steps. She did a little stumble trying to get up there, but she turned around and went back the other way. Now, she was still walking kind of wobbly. She did fall into the wall, and she started opening up doors. So she opened up one door. She went in, came right back out. She wasn't in there. You can tell she was looking for doors, trying to get back upstairs to the lobby.
Now, remind you, he's saying she's opening up doors. This is the same thing that the article put out. They saw her opening up doors. We only seen her opening up one door. We did not see her opening up doors with the S. So clearly, it's an extended footage that was removed that we did not see.
So she went from door to door. She went in this door. She didn't stay long. She went in and came back out. She was basically trying to find her way back to the lobby. As she continued down the path,
and she went to the bathroom and everything.
Yeah,
What's some of the doors she did go in?
One of the doors she went in was the men's washroom. That door pushed open, she came right back out. She pushed in, came right back out. She went inside another door. She came right back out.
See, we didn't see that. We didn't see that. We didn't see her going. And somebody said, you are right, Malika, I don't believe she was traveling alone. Somebody else said that she could have walked downstairs. She ended up downstairs because Monifa and the security took her down there. And that's quite possible. I mean, I just don't know how she ended up downstairs because of course, we don't see that footage, y'all. What if she was with Monifa? Because we also had a statement that Monifa and Kenneka, or Monifa went to go get Kenneka belongings. So what if she was with Kenneka and went to go get Kenneka or try to get Kenneka belongings and they had the security escorting them? Like we just don't know for a fact because we don't have that footage. And this is what really leave us. This is a big loophole in the whole ordeal, in the whole case.
Was checking doors to see, to me, how she can get back upstairs. So she went down toward this unsecured area that she went, and the camera shows it, and it shows where she went. When she went in, the doors weren't secured. She went right in. There was a freezer part there where you all see, where you all haven't seen it yet, where she had walked back. There was no one in there. The place, they don't even use that part no more as a kitchen part, and it has two large freezers. So she walked back there, and then she went inside that door. She opened it up, which you can open up. It's just like a big steel door. It don't take much to open it. You open up that door, you take one half a step. To your right is another door to another freezer part. She had to open up that door to go inside of there, mainly trying to find her way back to the lobby. In saying that,
why would Kenneka walk inside of a big steel door to find her way back to the lobby? Somebody please answer that for me. Why would she open up? We talking about a big steel door, thinking that that big steel door would take her back to the lobby. That don't make sense whatsoever. She walked through all these other doors, turned around and came back out. But this big steel door she walked inside that led to another door trying to find her way back to the lobby. It don't make sense. So this is where I believe he either fabricated, I believe he fabricated this part right here in agreement to actually see the original footage. Because this would have been a whole separate camera that would have actually shown her walk into the freezer. So he's saying that he actually seen her walk into the freezer, and Ms. Martin is saying there was the camera up there, but you know, if she did walk in there, I don't believe she walked in there alone. So if you seen her walk in there, show me that footage. And they can't produce those receipts.
If she was so impaired, so we don't know what's in the toxicology, but the door closed and the other door closed, and it's dark inside of that little freezer room. So she probably got scared, tried to find her way to push that door out, but it was a safety knob there that you can touch like this, and that door will open. And I was in there with the detectives. I was in that freezer. And
I was in there with the detectives. I was in that freezer. So he's showing us the relationship between him and the detectives, and the fact that, you know, he did establish some type of agreement with the detectives for him to even be able to go in there as if he's a real investigator, a crime scene investigator. And the detectives allow him to go inside that freezer. She's looking for her way out. She's frantic. She's, you know, and the way he did his hand gesture, she's trying to find her way out, but yet she's not using her hands to simply hit the button to exit out the freezer. If you locked inside of a freezer and it's completely dark and you're using your hands to try to find your way out, and the emergency button is right there that will open the freezer doors, how come she just didn't hit it and open the doors? See, evidently when she was taken to that freezer area or led into that freezer area or whatever the case may be, somebody was right there with her. Somebody locked her in there, which is the reason why they won't release that particular camera footage to the parent, to the mom, and to the public.
And I was scared even being in that freezer, even in there with them, and I was in there by myself. I can understand the part where she was at with the motion camera up there, that when somebody walks, it turns that way. Where she was, you cannot go no farther. That's it. You cannot hide back there. You can't go no farther. If anybody was back there, they would have came up. They had to come out that way she came. Now, that's the negligence on that motel establishment there, that place was closed down and nobody shouldn't have been back there. Now, it's very easy for you to get in there and that door to close, and in that freezer, lights out, it's air shut tight. If you had a room in that motel, you had a child, a son, your son and daughter get on that elevator and all of a sudden start wandering around and pushing doors, your baby would have went in there. That door would have closed on your baby. You'd have been looking for your child. It's an accident that was waiting to happen, and it lies within that motel unit there. Who owns that motel? They should have secured that area. If locks was on the door like they was on the door when I got there, they had locks on there, so I couldn't get in, but they didn't have no locks on there when she was there. If they had them, she probably would have turned around like she turned around at the other doors to find her way back upstairs. And sad as I hate to say, we got to find out what's in their toxicology, and whatever's in there was in her system. Then it needs to come out. Then if it's something illegal, the focus goes back to the room and the people that was inside the room.
Okay, so we already know he playing a fence. He playing both sides, because as long as he can stay on Teresa's good side, he can get her to stop the protest. He can get social media to stop digging into the case and exposing everything on a hotel, which he calls a motel, when he know that that's like a 4 or 5 star hotel, normally with a good name, a good reputation. And so he's playing both sides of the fence. He's going to convince the mom this is an accidental death. However, she want to actually see what he saw. So yeah, at the end of the day, he's full of it. But at the same time, like I said, his theory in the beginning of what he saw in original footage, it does line up with what the Daily News put out, period. There was exclusive footage that they saw that we did not. Okay, but Andrew Holmes, we all know he's full of it. This video was not to prove that he's full of it, because we all know that. But he was working on the side of Rosemont PD. I don't think his agreement was with per se Crown Plaza, but more with Rosemont PD, which is why he got access to the original tapes, which is why he was allowed to go inside and actually view the freezer if he was. Okay, because ain't no point that we see him in the next couple days on camera go inside that hotel. Now I'm gonna be watching surveillance footage looking for him, because when did you go in there and go inside the freezer? Because we didn't see you. But hey, that's his story, and I guess he was sticking to it. But yeah, he was basically playing the middleman. You know, he's going to stick with the theory and the narrative that Rosemont PD drew up. They had already had a technician, what they called a technician, to come in and view the surveillance, but actually work on the surveillance to take Kenneka out of certain parts of the video, of the surveillance. Okay, and for his agreement that she walked into the freezer, and to try to get, and what they probably told him to establish peace right now, because it's just all out of control. They out there protesting, people on social media digging into this case, making it even worse, you know. So he was sent to play the middle guy at this point right here. He's on point to toxicology report to put blame on the people in the room. If you heard it. Exactly. Which is the reason why, like you said, John, which is the reason why the toxicology report, see, the medical examiner had to see a part of the video. Can you explain to me why? They had to have the surveillance in order to do their job? Why? But he's not going to speak on that. You notice he's not going to speak on why she was impaired, or, you know, how to what extent she was impaired. He's not going to speak on that. We're going to wait for the toxicology. We're going to wait till they do their part and release that right there before I actually speak on that. So we all know he's full of it. I don't think the one who's walking through the hallway is not Kenneka. Like I said, I don't know, Saba. I actually think that they did have footage of Kenneka walking through the hallway, but at the same time, they did do a redacted version, and they actually told us that where they actually had to follow her footsteps. But if they have this on footage already, why did they need to retract her footsteps? You know, if they have original footage of her walking through the hallway, stumbling, intoxicated, and walk straight into a freezer, why did they need to come back and do another version where they had her footsteps retraced, you know, and have somebody to appear as if they were more intoxicated than what was seen in the original footage. That's deception. If you ask me, that's deception at its finest. And I absolutely do believe at some point, I'm gonna end it here in a few. I absolutely do believe at some point she was seen in the lobby. I do believe at some point she was coming from one place to the next. She was trying to get her belongings. She was trying to leave. And it kind of fit with what I've been saying all along. The fact that the DoubleTree also play a role. And she was probably taken to one hotel, leaving one hotel, maybe snuck in through the back door or came in through the back door. Or maybe she did enter with her friends. I don't know. But I do believe at some point she was trying to make her way back up to the 9th floor, but she was taken down into the basement and eventually led to the freezer area where she was locked inside the freezer area. Of course, other things may have happened between the time, in between time, but at the same time, I do believe that there is original footage that would probably explain more than this 36-hour footage do. And as far as the time skips, that I believe that shows some things that they don't want us to see, and especially pertaining to Kenneka being in certain areas of the hotel and certain people they don't want to see. I got to get my charger because my battery is dying. Yeah, me neither. Fortnite. As young adults, we got high and drunk, went to hotel. I used to throw hotel parties all the time. Nobody really left our floor. Like, we really didn't even leave the floor because we knew, roaming around the hotel and being spotted by security and front desk, we could get kicked out of our rooms. So yeah, we did the whole put the towel under the door, but we had a wet towel under the door. Put a towel over the. And if y'all know what I'm talking about, the towel under the door is supposed to, a wet towel under the door is supposed to prevent the smoke from going outside the room. We've also covered up the smoke detectors. We've done things like that. But as far as roaming the hotel, that was something that we just did not do because we wanted to, stay low key and not get kicked out the hotel. So yeah, that I find that strange as well. Good question, Malika. The medical examiner requested the surveillance footage to complete their report to make sure they followed the police narrative. Point blank. Point blank, John. Point blank. Point blank. They were all working together. There was a mother and a child that was on the elevator, and the mother showed no concern because she had to be with someone. So he's admitting the hotel and the kids are at fault. He's basically admitting that she was intoxicated, and she walked herself into the freezer, but based off of the toxicology report, if there was a substance in her toxicology report, then we should be looking at those kids. And yeah, the hotel, he's on the side of the mother that the hotel, he probably actually is the one that kind of pushed that to Teresa as far as the hotel being negligent, whether or not she walked herself in the freezer or whether or not she was guided. If that hotel is still negligent, that hotel is still negligent, but by him actually telling her, I've seen the original footage, and that hotel is negligent because they should have had that place down there secured. I'm pretty sure that stuck with her. And she said, okay, well, since I don't have valid proof of a crime, these kids won't talk. I'm going to go along with their narrative until somebody show me and force their hand and show me that camera and show me she actually walked into the freezer. I'm going to go along with that narrative because they negligent. But far as her proving a crime, how could she if nobody would talk? And I'm not team nobody other than Kenneka. Let me just put it out there. I feel bad for the family that the family had to go through this. I feel bad for Kenneka, but I am team Kenneka 100%. Okay, but I'm just trying to look at things I'm just trying to rationalize things. How can she really prove a crime if the kids won't talk, and she got an edited surveillance footage of 36 hours, or her attorney did, just as we did, that does not prove a crime. I'm Drop me a 1 if y'all can hear me, because my battery died real quick. Drop me a 1 if y'all can hear me. Yeah, no crime can be proven. And it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. Can't hear me? Oh, okay. Okay. I'm sorry, my battery died real quick. Whew. Did audio go out? Oh, okay. Yeah, my audio went out for a second because my battery died. We had to plug it up. And my daughter on her laptop, I'm using her laptop, she has face recognition. So she had to plug it up for me and use her face in order to turn it back on. Ain't that crazy? But anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to put that out there real quick and thank you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to get off of here. Like I said, it wasn't gonna be a long live. I really just wanted to present that information in case you guys had not. A lot of you guys do not have to trust the daily news or whatever information that they put out, but I really do believe when they did the article on Kenneka that they were dead on. They was dead on. And like I said, what they put out matches what Andrew Holm also seen. And so to me, that is definitely proof that there was an original video that was edited. And we have the edited version. So I don't care what nobody says. So what MTV was trying to make us feel like is once they put it on the EXE files, at that point it cannot be edited. But I believe that this video was edited prior to it being put on the EXE files. Lenise, you got your winch? Oh yeah, okay, I see it now. Okay, so that's one thing that's one way of them trying to deceive us as well. That is one way, you know, of MTV trying to deceive us by them putting that out there like, oh, well, and y'all got some more stuff too. I think I'm going to share it in another lab or another video. But I also have some pictures because we was working behind the scenes as well. And I'm going to show you guys some gang members. And I'm going to show you guys how the gang members, and we even dug into a couple of their parents. And I'm going to show you guys how the gang members are associated with the Freemasonry, and how they are just really a small branch, you know, of the Masons. So, and I also wanted to bring y'all attention to, which is something that I wanted to probably discuss on another lab, but I'm just go ahead and throw it out there. When we look at the fact that there were over 30 people that attended this party, but only a handful 12 actually, that was considered suspects. And we only have a handful, I don't know exactly what number, that was actually interviewed and they have photos of. One thing that kind of stood out to me, and I was talking to Queen of Jacks about it, because like I said, we do a lot of investigating work behind the scenes when looking into the gangs and things like that. But one thing that really stood out to me is the fact, I said, dang, Queen of Jacks, did you notice that a lot of the GDs was not interviewed? Some of the vice lords wasn't interviewed as well, but a lot of the GDs wasn't interviewed, and especially the whole bank gang. Bank gang and the people that's associated with bank gang, they just kind of stood out to me. Now, I'm not talking about Ty Rowland, because Ty Rowland is seen in the live. He had a whole live with Kenneka and his sister Tenacious. So yeah, but the fact that bank gang and these certain individuals that came in during the time when she was supposedly walking herself into the freezer, they was not interviewed. And so I just found that strange, that they kind of made their entrance into the hotel as she was walking herself into a freezer, quote unquote. And they easily walked out, yet we don't really have a statement. We don't have pictures of them. That's why a lot of us didn't know who these particular sets was. So that's something that I'm kind of looking at and trying to connect behind the scenes. And I want y'all also to keep in mind that this particular crew is the ones that came from Cabrini Green. These are like Carl Nesbitt's, if you can say, his people, his gang, if you guys get what I'm saying. So it kind of seemed like that they were automatically covered for and not really investigated or left a narrative or a statement as pertaining to, even if they just said, yeah, when we got there, she wasn't there. She was already gone. You see what I'm saying? But these are the people that arrived after 3 a.m. And so just to have their statement, to me, would have been good, because, what did you notice that was off when you got there? And why did you guys leave without helping them look for her? So that was something that I was looking at behind the scenes. And so I'm going to figure out how to kind of like zero in on that. And because like I feel like that Carl Nesbitt's people, I'm going to say it like his people, because I do believe he's a chief and he's a leader, but he's more conservative. He don't have to go out there and get his hands dirty, if you guys get what I'm saying. But I just find it very interesting that his people, his gang, at a certain point, they come into the hotel as she's making her way to the freezer. And we don't have a statement from them. We don't have, could this be some of the people that they were looking into and they couldn't get a hold of? I don't know. But we have a lot of people that attended that party that did not leave a statement, of course. But I want y'all to also realize that not all of them was vice lords. It was majority of them that was GDs. Okay, because from my understanding, the only statement that we have from the GDs is the Wilson's brothers. That's it. So that's something, like I said, that y'all know I've been looking into the gangs for the longest. Something else that I'm kind of, looking into and digging into. And like I said, a lot of them, they're, how can I put it? They roots trace back from the Masons, either having parents who are Masons, but they represent the Masons. So I found that to be interesting. A lot of them, have it on their page. They have the Masonic symbolism on their page, things like that. So, this stuff to me is really all making sense. But I'm going to figure out how to do a video or a live and kind of gather my pieces, and I'll come back and do another live for y'all. And I'm going to make sure that, everything makes sense pertaining to Kenneka. And it's because it's really hard exposing these people for me. So in order for me to really expose some people, I have to have something that that kind of sticks pertaining to Kenneka case, and me not really just putting people out there and throwing people out there. And the reason why I did that last video is to kind of give everybody a history on how they work together, because in our minds, they are ops to each other. And so today, that's not necessarily true. So I had to make sure I did that and put that out there. And James Coleman as well. Yeah, James Coleman as well. We've never really had proof that he was in a leadership position or a chief position. And, but I haven't stopped digging and looking into him. If we find anything, we'll definitely include that. But somebody had actually asked me if I can look into some of the parents of these people. And so I brought that up to Queen Jax, like, is this something that you're interested in doing? Because if so, we can get to digging, and do a whole video on their parents and kind of see if their parents are connected to the brother and sisterhood. And if people want to know why is that relevant, well, it's relevant because if it's a secret organization that the parents are in, then that means that they are in a brotherhood or secrecy. I mean, a brotherhood or a sisterhood of secrecy and silence, which is the reason why they keeping their mouth closed when it comes to this case. You know what I'm saying? They could be connected to workers of the hotel or to people like Carl Nesbitt, James Coleman. So it, like I said, it have to be relevant to her case in order for me to actually put it out. But that's just one I wanted to give y'all a little tip that we was kind of working on behind the scenes. Sounds like they all showed up just to do the reenactment because she was already gone. Deborah. They are a cult, brotherhood, lineage. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Yes, just like the frat or sorority. Exactly. We learn from the environment. Exactly. Prophetess speaks. Exactly. So we have, found a few of them that their lineage does go back to the Masons, but there's still some digging that have to be done. And we definitely know that what is his name? Andrew Holmes is a part of the brotherhood. Okay. John Q said, good case coverage, Malika. The article by the Bazaar Daily News is an important piece to the story in this case too. Well done. I think so as well, John Q, because we have to keep in mind that Andrew Holmes came right behind them, and they mentioned certain parts of the video that they saw, and it was the same thing. They mentioned the same thing, and we didn't see that, especially the fact that she was seen in the lobby, that she was seen opening several doors, she was seen getting on the elevator. This is stuff that we didn't see. So to me, that's proof enough that the tapes was edited prior to being uploaded on the EXE files and to the Village of Rosemont website. That's proof. Because how is it that they both seen this footage? And also, let me keep in mind, a YouTuber that they claim seen this information, a YouTuber that was not authorized to see this information or that wasn't supposed to see it. But a YouTuber also saw the original footage. And a YouTuber was also telling lies, such as Andrew Holmes. What lies would that be? The fact that she walked herself into a freezer. Now, I ain't trying to pick no bones with nobody. I'm not trying to pick no fight with nobody. It's plenty of people out there that want me to pick a fight with them. They want to fight me. Okay. But I choose my battles wisely from here on out. So everybody else that's looking to pick a fight with me, I ain't interested. I choose my battles wisely. But yeah, a YouTuber, and this is something that they mentioned, like I said before, anything hit the public. This was something they mentioned. A YouTuber saw the original footage and also was a liar, just like Andrew Holmes, because the Daily News is trying to say Andrew Holmes is a liar because we've seen the exact same footage that he's seen. We've seen the exact same footage that this YouTuber seen, but yet we didn't see her walk into the freezer because that particular surveillance footage we did not have. We did not see if it even exists. If you guys get what I'm saying. So I think that's very informative, and that's something that we should definitely consider. Was Kenneka the only new breed in the room seeing this on somebody's page? No, not necessarily, no, because Monifa at the time was a new breed. We don't know who a lot of those people, because me, myself, personally, I'm just somebody that believes that there was people dressed like her there. And I'm going to show y'all why I believe that. A lot of people don't believe that, but I just dropped this into my Facebook group. So I'm going to show y'all real quick why I believe that she wasn't the only person dressed according to the theme which they probably told her the theme is blue jeans and jacket. And so she wore the blue jeans and jacket. And I showed y'all this before, but I'm just gonna pull it up real quick. So, but as far as what we know, Monifa was also a new breed at the time. So no, she wouldn't have been the only one. But at the same time, Monifa was cool with the GDs. Kenneka was cool with the Vice Lords. So let me just pull this up and kind of, because I got about a good 10, maybe 15 minutes before I end it. So that was a good question. And I'm only going to pull this up because I have a suspicion as to who one of these people are that was dressed like Kenneka there. And if I'm right about my suspicion, then she too is a new breed. So this is the reason why I wanted to pull this up real quick. But to answer your question, it would have been Kenneka as well as Monifa. And as I stated to y'all before, Kenneka basically was considered a vice breed because she was kind of mixed with both the the Vice Lords and the breeds. So they was kind of like making jokes about her. But I just feel like it's really relevant to say this because I'm not the kind of person that's just gonna ignore everything. Like I try not to leave no stone unturned, and we've all seen this before, but to me, it's not a lot of YouTubers that want to speak on this type of information, because if they do, then they will have to go down a rabbit hole that they just don't want to go down. They will have to go down a rabbit hole that they just do not want to go down. And I done been down a rabbit hole more than once. And I'm just going to put it like this. We can't just say that all three of these people are Kenneka. Do y'all see the picture? Drop me one if y'all see the picture. We can't just say that all three of these people are Kenneka without answering a question as to why her jacket is different in each picture. If y'all see that, drop me a one. So this person right here, I believe, is somebody, and I'm not going to put that out there right now because I don't know. And I believe that this person right here is possibly a new breed who look just like Kenneka. Okay, but that's the answer to that right there. Okay, and y'all know me, like I'm not just going to ignore certain things. Like I can't, because in the back of my mind, I'm always going to wonder, why is her hair, if you notice in this picture right here, at her butt, but then when you see her walking into the hotel, and you guys can go back and you guys can look at that footage of her walking into the hotel, and we actually see the length of her hair because it looked like somebody grabbed her and she kind of like slinged over to the right, and you can kind of see her hair move. When you see her hair move, it's not at her behind. Let me show you right here. Let me go right. Put my little mouse right there. See how long her hair is right here? Dang near at her butt. But when she entering inside the Crown Plaza, her hair is like in the middle of her back. The length of her hair is in the middle of her back. The fact that the three jackets are different. So I would never be the one to believe that it wasn't people dressed like Kenneka there. You can never convince me of that. You can never convince me of that. And anybody that don't want to admit that, I just think that they don't want to admit it because of the fact of the matter is they will have to go down a rabbit hole that they just don't want to go down. Period. They just do not want to go down this rabbit hole because they can't explain. They will have to say, oh, they changed their clothes. They changed their jacket. They don't want to go down this rabbit hole. But me, myself, personally, I've had to do it before, and I'll do it again if I have to. I said it before, and I'll say it again if I have to. Because we have to keep in mind that they have theme parties. They will say, I've seen it before where the Vice Lords had a theme party, and y'all probably seen it just snooping on their page. They had the jersey party where everybody had to come to the party in a jersey. They had a Chicago Bulls party where everybody had to come in a Chicago Bulls shirt or a Chicago shirt. I've seen these type of theme parties before. So I just believe that, yeah, they did have a theme. They did probably tell Kenneka that the theme was, blue jeans and blue jean pants, because they probably knew that she already had that in her closet. We done seen pictures and videos of her having on her blue jean jacket with some shorts. So that's nothing. You don't have to go out and buy. We already know you got that in your closet. And we also see Monifa dressed in a jeans and a jacket. We see Irene dressed in a jeans and a jacket. It's her party, so of course she dressed according to the quote unquote theme, right? So I believe some people got the memo, some did not. And I also put in my Facebook group, I believe that Shamaya might not have gotten the memo, because at that time she was the closest to Kenneka than anybody. So she probably only knew so much. They probably only told her so much, not really trusting if she will actually have sympathy or some type of conscience and tell Kenneka. So maybe Shamaya didn't have all the information that the other ones did. But I mean, you can never tell me that something is not right when all three of these jackets are different. I would love to hear somebody do a video on it. And if somebody can prove that these are the same jackets and it makes sense, then I would scratch this theory, remove it altogether. I have no problem with that. I really just want the truth. But I'm not going to ignore what's staring me in my, I'm not going to let my mind or my eyes deceive me because nobody else want to face the fact that something ain't right. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to do that. I'm not that kind of person. So, yeah. So if my speculation is right, then I believe that this person, or maybe this one of these people is a new breed, because she looked like she could be either one of them. And also we had Monifa. That's also a new breed. So to answer your question, no, she really wasn't the only one. And so if Kenneka was attacked because she was a new breed, then why wasn't Monifa attacked? Do y'all get what I'm saying? So if somebody putting out there that Kenneka was attacked because she was a new breed, then Monifa should have been attacked as well, because Monifa was a new breed as well. This is the reason why you see earlier pictures of Kenneka and Monifa and why they grew up together, because they grew up on the same side of town and they both rep new breeds. So they both should have been in that freezer. Do y'all get what I'm saying? And not just Kenneka. So do I think that she was surrounded by some ops and stuff? Of course, I do believe that. But I believe that oppositions nowadays is not just somebody from a different gang, because nowadays all the gangs, they a lot of them click together. They get money together. You see what I'm saying? So an op will actually be somebody who is a personal enemy of yours, because they did something, you did something to them, or they did something to you, or somebody that's trying to take over your territory or your drug clientele, or it have to be a reason why these particular sets of people are considered your ops. But because it's not just because you represent a different gang, if you get what I'm saying. They have to have some type of personal beef with you or your set. Okay, so that's that. I hope that answered your question. Let me see if anybody else have anything to say, because I got to get up out of here in a minute. She was the girl that was walking around as if something was wrong with her legs. Yeah, do you have somebody that was walking around like she was, yeah, like you said, like something was wrong with her legs? I don't know if she was playing a role or what. And there was also a girl dressed in black Adidas outfit as well, but she was too big to play Kenneka, and Irene thing was Calvin Klein. Okay. I don't know about that, but hey, I'm not doubting you at all, Angela. They definitely have theme parties, though. The picture in the freezer, they said Kenneka tattoo was missing on her back. I didn't see it either. Anybody else? Yeah, she had a tattoo of stars on her back. No, I am not. I'm in too late. I'm still going to watch it. Hi, Lisa. Yes, all is well on my end, sweetheart. All is well on my end. So I love you guys. I'm gonna get ready to get up out of here. And I'm gonna get to doing some more work and stuff behind the scenes. And whatever I do have, whatever we could put together, I will help produce that stuff. Do you believe that possible that Irene Maya was also raped? I don't know, Nano. I really don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know. I'm sorry. I can speculate that all day, but I really don't know. Do I believe that Kenneka was the only victim? I do believe if somebody else was hurt, but did not die, and I do believe somebody was possibly hurt and did not die. But that person, if that's the case, they won't speak. They won't say anything in regards to it. That's just something that my spirit feels. You know what I'm saying? I don't have any proof on that, no receipts to produce on that. So, or the fact that other people died that night. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not even gonna go back down that rabbit hole, girl. I'd have been there and done that when it comes to every theory, when it comes to everything. I done pretty much looked into everything. So, but could Monifa have played both sides in order to get Kenneka into the position at the ops wanted her? Oh, definitely. Definitely, she could have played both sides. Definitely, which could be the reason why that the New Breeds told her that she's not welcome on that side of town no more. And now that you notice she's hanging with the Vice Lord girls now. And I think I mentioned that in the video before. I don't know if that was in John's lab or it was some lab that I did where I actually mentioned that she was basically exiled out the clan. And Norris said she better not see her on that side of town again. So she definitely could have played both sides because, as I said, she was cool with the GDs. Her boyfriend from a long time, Tolliver Herman, he was a GD. And so I'm pretty sure she was cool with the GDs. She was cool with the BDs. She was cool with all these other sets because, like I said, it's nothing odd when it comes to Chicago today as far as mixing with other gang sets and stuff like that, unless you got some kind of personal beef with them. So no, it's not bizarre to say that she could have been in a position to play both sides because she very well could have been. She very well could have been. But again, the target would have had to been on Kenneka already, and not just the fact that Kenneka was a new breed, the so-called op, by her being a new breed. It would have had to been on Kenneka and over something more personal. Because if it was just because of the fact that she was a new breed, then Monifa would have been targeted too. If you get what I'm saying. So it had to be like a personal type of beef with her in order for her to be singled out like that. Yeah, she hangs with Mariah now, which is a Vice Lord girl and a little Vice Lord crew. If you look closer, Kenneka has scratches on her wrist, and she have been punched in the mouth, where were parts of her stomach area that looked as if there was glue holding certain areas together. I don't know. Oh, I don't know about that, Alice. Wow. Was Kenneka set up by the Breeds Monifa for a payback for the Vice Lord killing Spaz, a breed? If so, then J Money life was in danger. Okay, was Kenneka set up by the Breeds Monifa for a payback for the Vice Lord's killings? The only breed that was there with Kenneka was Monifa. So you saying that Monifa would have setting this whole thing up and handed her off to the GDs and the security to pay back something that happened with the Vice Lords? I don't believe so. I don't believe so. It's also a rumor out there that and Queen of Jax wanted me to bring this up. Well, she was actually just discussing it with me, but I'm gonna bring it up. It's also a YouTuber that made claims that Kenneka was killed because she might have had something to do with Kato's murder, and that's also not true. That's also not true, because if it's true, then we have to understand that when Kenneka was murdered, Kato's sister and his family offered their condolences and wrote posts and things like that about Kenneka. So I'm pretty sure if she set Kato up or she was a part of his death, his family wouldn't offer their condolences when she was murdered. So and she wouldn't have felt comfortable being at that memorial. or a party or whatever that they had, when she was singing the Butts Packs video, she wouldn't have been comfortable being there. Yeah, she might have been singled out, or she might have just didn't want the camera on her, or whatever the case may be. But I don't think she would have been at that memorial, at that gathering, knowing she set the boy up to be killed. And I also don't think that his family would have been writing posts and offering their condolences if she would have been responsible for having him killed. You see what I'm saying? If that was a retaliation. So I think a lot of these about it being a retaliation is definitely false, because if it was something to that effect, I believe that they could have just killed Kenneka in the streets and just left it at that. And she probably, stashed her body somewhere, probably never would have turned up. But I actually believe the theory, or what was put out before in the beginning, about her being at that hotel and having time to pay back money. That's just where I'm at with it, until I see otherwise. But her having time to work while she was there and pay back money, or I believe that more than anything, because to me that make more sense as to why they would do what they would do there, versus just killing her on the streets and leaving no witnesses or stuff like that, because they do it all the time when it comes to retaliation. So I just don't think that she was what do they call it? They call her a setup girl. I just don't see that being the case. If she was a setup girl, I think they would have probably got her a long time ago, got her mama, got her brother, anybody connected to her. So I just don't see that to be true. But that, again, is only my personal opinion. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that right there alone. She was very carefree at that memorial. Exactly, Prophetess Speaks. I think everybody is, trying to find a motive, and they looking for any little bit of evidence to kind of say this is why it was Kenneka. Yeah, Kenneka could have definitely been gang stalked, but I think that you won't see her just being carefree and hanging around the same set that's gang stalking her. When she was at that Cato memorial, she was at home. Those is her people. Those are breeds. She was around her people, so she felt very carefree. But at the same time, we also have to remember that Butt Packs is known for following girls and putting them on camera and showing their body or showing their butts. This is something that he was known for doing. So a lot of females, when they saw him coming, from my understanding, they used to be like, get that camera out of my face. Like, don't point that camera at me. A lot of people didn't want to be in his videos. So that's what I see more so than anything. But I don't think that she would have been so carefree walking around her neck of the woods, around her people, and then people was talking about the fact that her cousins didn't even acknowledge her. Well, we only saw a part of the video. What if they was there together hanging around the neighborhood the whole day, and we didn't see them all kicking it? We only saw a portion of the video. You see what I'm saying? But the fact of the matter is, she was not in that area afraid of somebody doing something to her. She was really around her people. So me, myself, personally, I don't think the breed set her up. I think that Kenneka, probably her fault was going outside of them. Like Monifa said, wanting other friends, and to me, maybe mingling with other sets and becoming really close to other sets, or not really other sets, but maybe close to other people within the sets, like Irene, like Shamaya, you know what I'm saying? And that might have caused some type of jealousy, some type of backstab, and they might look at her like she was a backstabber, a flip-flopper, things like that. But I think if she would have just kind of maintained her breed status and hung out with Zaharia and the other people and her mama's side of the family and the people, I think she probably would have been okay. I just don't see, as far as what happened to her now, I don't think that they would have set that up, or I don't know, y'all, but this is just me on the outside looking in, and just me trying to add everything up. So I don't believe that they have anything to do with her being set up. Now, do they have inside information and stuff like that? They probably do. But in the streets, it's no snitching. You can't talk. You see what I'm saying? So they probably, it's so on the side of Miss Teresa that if she say don't say nothing or go along the floor or don't move, or this is what we gonna do, that's what we gonna do. Period. So I don't know. That's just my opinion, y'all. I think that's why she was ready to go when they got there, because she know the ops was there, and I heard them saying Gyro, Bobby Gang, Insane Crew, etc. Yeah, I mean that could have been a reason. That definitely could have been a reason why she was ready to go. I mean, it could have been a reason why she was ready to go. But at the same time, she had to have some type of personal beef with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, or would have been her set against they set. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that they would have just singled her out of everybody and just made her feel uncomfortable. Why the rest of the girls wasn't uncomfortable? Why Shamaya and them weren't comfortable? Because here it is, Shamaya and them vice lords. So if that's the case, then they ops too. Because the Gyro Gang and all of these people, they are from Cabrini Green, right? They are GDs. So why wouldn't Shamaya Irene them feel uncomfortable? Why wasn't it like set against set? Why was Kenneka singled out? That's something that we have to ask ourselves. Okay, I got about 5 more minutes, y'all. Remember when Kenneth Tart and the other dudes was in the car about they choked someone, lifted their soul, dude in the back seat, he nutted in her hair. Wonder if he did. That's why her hair was cut. I really don't know, Angela, to be honest with you. Did anyone see the canine out of near the grease trap? Because to me it looked as if there was grease in her hair and on her clothing and not water. I don't know about the grease part. I don't know about the grease part. I remember the picture of Kenneka in the freezer that disappeared with her breasts exposed and her pants hanging off of her. I do remember something like that, Lanice. I do remember that her bra was kind of pulled down a little bit. And I think that's kind of still what we have, but unless you're talking about a different one. But it's kind of blacked out. Because they updated those files since they originally put the stuff out. They updated them. And they continue to log in on a site. And I don't know what the hell they're doing, but they are continuously logging in. Every time you check the Rosemont site under Kenneka Jenkins case file, they are continuously logging in and probably updating stuff. Is it true that KJ was a little slow because she seemed very bright and intelligent? I don't know how anybody can say she was slow. Miss D, I really don't know where our people could say she was slow. I think a lot of that came from the fact that when they called the police, they said that she was disabled so they can get them to, act fast. But I'm not sure, other than that, how people feel like she was slow. Like if anybody followed her story and, read all her tweets and read all her posts and stuff like that, like I don't think she was slow. She was far from slow. Okay. Yeah, I remember that, Lanice. She had a bite mark on her breast. I remember seeing that. Yeah, because they continuously updating the site where they was. So, yes. Thank you guys so much for giving me an opportunity to come on here and speak with y'all. And thanks for everybody that reached out and offered their condolences. And thank you, Lanice, for what you did yesterday and also your encouraging word. So, yes, I'm going to pick you out the bunch. I really appreciated you for that. And that really made my day. Thank you so much. No, she was slow. She had a strong Southern accent and she was young. You said she was slow? I don't really know how y'all got that though. I don't know how y'all got that. So many twists and turns. I pray we find out what happened to KJ. I pray we do too, Angela. I pray we do too. And I hope that a lot of us, I hope that we really try our best to kind of get on one accord. Everybody set their egos aside and really get on one accord, because I told y'all a long time ago, I just personally don't believe that God is going to give one man all the power to, or one woman or whatever, just human, all the power to solve this case and bring Kenneka justice. Even if that one person do, they still have to use other people's content because other people have worked hard day and night to make sense of this whole thing, and I think that we just have to put our egos aside and all try to come together and be on one accord as much as we can. Now, we are not going to agree, but as much as we can to kind of fill in the blanks, to fill in what's missing, because it's a lot that's missing, and so in order to fill in the missing parts, I think that what I don't have, somebody else might have. You see what I'm saying? And so me, myself, I always try to stay mutual. People just pull me into drama for whatever type of reason. They just want to speak on me just to say they don't like me. Oh, well, but I've never just came out the blue just aiming at nobody and just talking about nobody or doing videos on nobody, because my focus is on Kenneka, and I just feel like at this point, it's been long enough and we need some answers. So what I'm just really trying to do is just trying to make sense of certain things and trying to fill in a lot of missing gaps that we have, and so what we do have and what we do know far as from what you can take away from today's live, I'm gonna say this and get out of here. What we can take away from today's live is the fact that at some point she was seen in that lobby. And we have both statements from two separate individuals that she at some point was trying to make her way up to the room, which was also the same statement that was given to Teresa in the very beginning to get her belongings. So I really do believe that lobby statement, and I believe that that lobby statement and that footage was taken away immediately and retracted immediately so that we don't, because once it was said that she was in a lobby and Monifa and them left her at the lobby, or, once it was mentioned that she was in the lobby, but it didn't how can I say it? It didn't align with the footage. They had to retract that statement because according to, we don't see her in the lobby. So now they had to retract that statement and say, well, no, we left her by the ninth floor where, quote unquote, the cameras was not working. And so that's just not true. I do believe at some point she was in that lobby area, whether she was making her way to the front desk to get help, which she probably was, whether she, whatever the case may be, she was seen in that lobby, and they did retract that whole statement, remove that whole footage, and she did try to make her way to get her belongings so she can leave. However, we can assume that instead of her making it back to that room, she was taken down into the basement and other things might have happened. So, and this is really just from what, from the information that we just gathered today, as far as putting all the pieces together, like that might take a while doing, because really for me, once I put all the pieces that I've gathered, it seemed like some new information come out or something else come out. So, maybe at the end of the day, we could probably put everything together and paint a big picture and say, okay, here is what we got after 3 years, or here is what we got. But right now, it's so much that we missing, so many answers that we need, so many different things that need to be explained. It's hard to just wrap everything up and really appease the people and say, here you go. Because once you do so, then some other stuff might come out, some information that you didn't have before. And now here it is, you got to insert that into your theory. See what I'm saying? So it's a lot. But what we can take away from that is that today's live is at some point she was seen there. It was an original footage that was put out. Certain people did see this original footage. Some people decided to jump on board with Rosemont PD and the Crown Plaza and say she walked herself into the freezer. Some people, went along with that theory. So it's so much that we can take from today's live, but it don't give us the big picture at all. We got to continuously seek and pray for truth and for justice. And one day we will get there, y'all. We will get there. So definitely hold on to hope and believe that we will one day get there. Okay. And hopefully one day we can all work together and put our information together and we could actually do our own documentary. That's one thing that I'm praying for from the YouTube community. So, all right, I'm out of here, you guys. I'm kind of ran over my time a little bit. I love you guys. I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here and we'll talk later. Bye-bye.